Hey guys, my name is Hreski and this is my son,
Hreski.
And today we have a very important video where we're going to discuss, actually we're going to answer the question a lot of people are asking, where our company is really spending money, where we're making our products, and we'd like to actually answer this question. But before we answer this question, we want to warn you that we want you to really open up your mind a little bit. The things that we're going to mention in this video is not something that many people think about, and today and not a lot of people actually talking about this kind of subject. So there's a certain amount of work that we actually outsource outside of the United States, a very small percentage of it, but we're going to explain you why. If we didn't, it would have actually negative effect for America. It would do more damage than good. So in this video, we're gonna actually dive in. We're gonna explain you all about it. So keep your mind open. Stay with the open mind, all right? That's number one. Number two, there are no right or wrong opinions. This is just our opinion. We're gonna explain you why we think the way we think. You may have a completely different opinion, which we're gonna respect that as well. And if you're gonna have something to say, feel free to actually post prudent comment. If you feel, if you have your own opinion, we'd love to listen to it. And if we feel that there's some things that we could change to make it better for American businesses and American clients, we will definitely listen and try to see if it's possible to adjust. So anyway, let's dive in. A lot of people, for instance, asking, okay, where is it made? And sometimes they asking, for instance, like, is it made in China or is it made somewhere, in what part of the world is it made, right? So one of the biggest reasons why people actually asking this question is a lot of people purchase something from, let's say, made in Asia, and let's talk about China because that's what most of the time people ask, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people sometimes think, oh, if it's made from China, then they automatically assume it's a bad quality. And response to that is that yes, there are a lot of products that being made in China that may not be a quality that you would expect.
Yeah.
But the interesting part, there are a lot of products that are made in Europe that's actually a bad quality, and there are a lot of things are made in America that's not a good quality. So I don't want you to actually automatically assume. I know a lot of people maybe purchase certain things that, let's say, made in certain parts of the world, and they automatically have a bad impression of it. But that's not necessarily true all the time. Like, for instance, we all know Apple, right? Apple company. They make their computers and iPhones and stuff, and they make and majority of their manufacturing, as far as I know, is still in China, right? Or is in China. And I think they produce an actually pretty good product. So the point I'm trying to make is that the best judge for, let's say, our products are our own customers, and the way we can look at it is simply by going to our page and kind of like see the comments that our customers are making, and the results are actually what our customers are saying about our products. They're generally very happy with the product. So I mean, there's a small percentage of people that would return the product because maybe they expect a different kind of fabric, or maybe it doesn't fit them very well, and they don't even wish to exchange, or I don't know, everybody's got different body shape and sometimes certain clothing just doesn't fit very well. So that happens. But in our case, the amount of people that return our product is super low compared to just the averages in our competition. So I would say we're doing pretty good job with our clothing. The quality is fantastic, and we couldn't be happier. People tend to actually purchase the products, keep the products, and they buy again and again and again. So, but listen from our customers. Don't necessarily assume that, okay, it's made in America or in China or in Italy or in anywhere else, Russia, for instance. And you automatically think of some countries that, some people make better product than others. It really depends. The second reason why people are asking that question is they generally, they want us to bring jobs back to America. We want our manufacturing that as much manufacturing that would be done in America rather than in other countries. And we would like the same. We would like to actually we would absolutely love to do as much as possible in America, but certain things we are outsourcing outside of America, and that is the actually what we would like to discuss today. So for instance, currently roughly we spend from all of our revenue, we spend approximately 80% of our revenue in United States. That's a huge chunk. However, about plus minus 20%, I mean it fluctuates, is spent outside of America. And let's discuss the 20%. Today I'm going to explain you why by us spending it outside of America is actually beneficial for us rather than other way around like some people think. But again, keep your open mind and let's dig in. I got some notes here because I may forget things, and you know this conversation could go for hours, but we're gonna keep it as short as possible so it's not gonna be all inclusive. But anyhow, so the number one problem in manufacturing that I think that's gonna do more damage than good is there are certain parts of manufacturing, certain kind of manufacturing that, you know, if you've seen like how it's made, type of products, I mean shows on TV, you know, this certain kind of manufacturing produces waste, and there's usually factories and manufacturing produces waste, and there's some toxicity to it, right? There's toxic substances are being flown into the air, and then it actually damages adds to the pollution, to the air, to the water, to our soil, which means our food. So certain segments of manufacturing is not very ecologically beneficial. I mean, it's really provide negative effect ecologically. So for me, for instance, we live in California, right? And we enjoy that beautiful sky, this beautiful sky that we see every day. We see the stars at night, right? They're bright and nice. The water quality is fairly still reasonably good compared to there are some parts of the world that you don't want to drink their water. The food that we produce, the soil is still, it's debatable subject, but the soil is still reasonably have good amount of minerals left, and it's not too poisoned yet with the toxins and all these pesticides and other things that we add to it. So imagine like for instance, let's take China because it's a big one, right?
Yeah.
Me and you, we were traveling, right? About 3 years ago, we were actually in China, right? We went to Hong Kong, then we went to China, and then we kept going. So we were in China for a little bit, right? For some time.
Yeah.
I remember the time when we actually driving in the car. I mean, every day, first of all, it looks really, really foggy. If you've been in China, let's say Beijing or any of those big cities, you basically, the quality of the air is terrible. It looks like it's always foggy, but that fog is actually part of it is really, it's polluted air. So sometimes like we're sitting on intersection, like on a red light, we're waiting for the green light. We cannot see the traffic light that is on a block away or 2 blocks away, or it's like you see the blurriness. It was absolutely horrible. I was like, wow, unbelievable. And for them, it's like a normal. It's every day, they're breathing every day, every single breath you take that polluted air. And what happens with that air? All these particles that full of pollution and toxins, whatever, it at some point lands where? On our soil. How do we use the soil? A lot of it is cultivated. We grow our vegetables and fruits. Right? These are the things that our bodies need, and it also lands in the water. So if your water and soil and air is all polluted, guess what the effect of that? So to me, for instance, the quality of my life from health perspective, because I believe the number one wealth is your health. And a lot of people will hopefully agree with me on that. So we need to preserve our ecology, our beautiful clean air and clean water, and we want clean full of minerals soil so that we can grow full of mineral and vitamins, fruits and vegetables, right? That's what our bodies want, so we can improve the quality of our lives and we can live longer. But if you're gonna poison everything, right, then what's gonna happen to longevity? I'm pretty sure that we're gonna start living less than we could have if we were to live in a good quality environment. So that's number one. So again, like I said, the quality of the food will diminish, right? It's going to be full of toxins. The quality of water, and we cannot live with water. We need to drink water, right? So what kind of water you want to drink? You want as clean as possible. Again, some water in some countries you just cannot drink. It's like poisonous almost. And the air, this is the air that we breathe every day. It goes into our lungs, we exhale, right? We need a clean air. So I don't want to live in let's say, in some parts of the world where I cannot get all that. To me, this is probably priceless. This is something I'm willing to pay the most for, is that quality. Next thing I want to say is that if we constantly consume full of toxins, water and food, and we breathe bad air, what's going to happen to our immune system? At some point, we're just going to keep putting all this toxin in ourselves, and our immune system is going to diminish. Meaning, our immune system is like, oh, come on, stop putting this crap in me, right? They just want to say, like, okay, pardon this word, by the way. They just like, I want get it out. Just give me some clean, fresh fruits that full of minerals and vitamins, and I'm tired of breathing this dirty air. I'm trying to get rid of it. So your immune system will start diminishing, and what's going to happen with the immune system? That means we as a nation, as individuals, we're going to become much weaker, and our immune system is there to protect us. So like right now, for instance, is a pandemic, coronavirus, right? And a lot of people die, and you don't even need the coronavirus. People are dying every day because their immune system is already just cannot handle the amount of toxicity, their lifestyles that people have. So what we want to do is we want to strengthen the immune system, okay? Not continue diminishing our immune system, because our immune system is designed to protect ourselves from all these viruses and bacteria and whatever, right? There will always be bacteria, there will always be viruses. The question is how strong we are as a human beings to fight those. So again, it's important for us to drink clean water, okay? Eat good quality food that's full of minerals and vitamins, and breathe fresh air, and of course stress levels maintained, and exercise, and being active and being happy. Those are other things that help immune system, but that's not what I'm talking about here. You understand immune system, right? So we want to strengthen it, not diminish it. So if we continue diminishing our immune system, we're going to live sicker. What happens if we live sicker? That means that we're going to probably require more health care. What's the cost of healthcare today? The cost of healthcare today is already astronomical in United States. Like, the hospital, what they charge for the services, how often we visit the hospitals. So if we're gonna increase the cost of hospitals and the doctors, the cost of actually visiting those doctors and the overall services, and we're gonna be much more frequent visitors to doctors, and we're gonna support the big pharma, the pharmaceutical drugs that we think helping us, and it's another discussion, but anyway, people spend enormous amount of money on healthcare today. And what's going to happen if we're going to be sick and we're going to require more healthcare, we're going to live less because we're basically poisoning ourselves, then guess what's going to happen to health insurance? It's going to probably go up. What's going to happen to life insurance? Because our life expectancy is going to go down and the quality of the life is going to diminish. Obviously life insurance is going to go up. So basically there's a lot of things that are going to go up, and that is indirect cost. There's direct cost and indirect cost. That the reason I am wearing the $100 shirt and I have $100 here is because we're gonna be devaluing our own U.S. American dollar by simply because we're gonna require more of it to get those drugs and that healthcare, and maybe access to the clean water is gonna be already a luxury. So the cost of water is going to increase, the cost of good quality food is going to increase. So anyhow, ecology for me is probably the number one why I feel that we want to preserve that as much as possible. So, certain kind of manufacturing that is actually damaging us and our economy needs to be outside. That's just my opinion. You feel free to disagree, but I believe that we're going to do more harm than good. And a lot of people don't think that way. So that's why. And nobody talks about it. So that's why I think it's my duty to finally maybe open an eyes to some individuals that only think one-dimensional, and you can't think one-dimensional. There are pros and cons in everything. So ecology for me is the most important. Health is wealth, and many people would agree. So let's move on. Next thing is cost of goods, right?
Yeah.
If let's say we bring all the manufacturing here, and some manufacturing, that would be awesome if we did here, absolutely, but some just should not be. And let's assume we all brought all the manufacturing here. American wants everything American made, right? No problem. I'm all for it. And let's bring it all in here. So what that means is that, like for instance, right now to make this shirt costs $50. For simple math, let's do $50 for the shirt. How do we come up with that? It's the cost of labor, like how much we need to pay an hour for one person to produce it, cost of labor, cost of material, and cost of doing business, such as real estate cost, like we need to rent a space perhaps. Then there's a cost of doing business, distribution, marketing, advertisement, and a little bit of a profit for our efforts. And here we come up, $50 is the price that we should be charging in order for us to actually even be sustainable. Okay, so let's hypothetically agree that $50 is the right price.
Yeah.
Now, if we're gonna let's say today for certain kind of services, let's say today we're paying somebody to, let's say, do sewing, did you sit at the machine and do certain kind of work, right? And we're paying a person outside of the United States hypothetically $10 an hour. Or if we're gonna bring that service here, then now we have to pay that person, reasonable cost, a reasonable salary or hourly wage, let's say $20-30 an hour.
Yeah.
It's not a lot, by the way, but let's say it's reasonable, okay? $20-30. So we're already at 2-3 times as much, right? And if this person has been doing this kind of work for, let's say, 10-20 years and experienced, right? And all we have to pay him is $10 an hour, and he's actually, by the way, very happy with that kind of salary. It's more than, let's say, he would be earning, let's say, $5, $6, $7 per hour, but we're paying him 10, for instance, right? So that person is happy, and he's gonna produce for us, and he's gonna try to do the best job he can. He's actually very happy to do this, right? And then we have, let's say, somebody from the United States that we should be paying, let's say, $20-30 per hour, plus, plus now we need pay for the real estate. Obviously, we need to rent a building, right? Or buy a building, right? It's an expense. Then we need to pay for the workers' compensation insurance. Then there's, obviously we need the power, we need lights, we need machineries, we need to invest a lot into the technologies, right here. So overall, let's say it's costing us now about $50 per person when you add things up. So, and that person, when he's getting on $20-30, that's actually not a lot. Let's say it's reasonable. That person has two years worth of experience, and he's going to quit in about 1 year. Why? Because the kind of work that we're doing for this $20 an hour is not really pleasant kind of work. That's sooner or later people get tired and they realize that for that same $20-30 they can be doing much easier work and much more fulfilling. So that person, and then I'm going to need to, hiring expenses are quite expensive, so we need to constantly keep looking for new people, and we need to train them, and the quality may continue suffering again and again and again. So what we're trying to accomplish, we're trying to deliver the best value to our customers for their hard-earned dollars. And sometimes for certain things we might be doing a disservice for our customers if we're gonna have, let's say, less skilled people do certain kind of work, and every time you hire a new person, then they may not be producing it at the highest possible quality. There's a lot of problems that can happen with that. So we ideally want somebody who's super happy that we're paying him a lot, actually for their standards, a lot of money, and they have an enormous amount of experience, and they happily do that. That's no problem. So anyhow, what I'm trying to say is that if, let's say, the labor, now we hired somebody in the United States, right? The labor cost and material cost doubled, tripled, or even 5 times as much, 5x. Guess how much we need to now charge our customers for this shirt? So instead of $50, best case scenario, it would be $100. So it's double. Again, what we just did is we asking you for twice as many. When you have $100, now you can buy two shirts. But if we're gonna do what a lot of people say, oh, let's just bring everything to America, now we're asking them for $100. So for $100, they can only buy one. So what did we just do with American dollar? We devalued the American dollar. We smashed it by half. This is a 100% inflation overnight. You know, inflation right now in America, people say roughly about 2 to 3%, right? It's probably more, maybe less, I don't know, 2 to 3%. That's normal steady inflation. But right now, for instance, we can devalue this dollar, this $100, and that's worth now $50. Why? Because they used to be able to use $100 and buy two shirts. Now they can only buy one. So is that a good service for our American people, or it's not? I believe, you know, I don't want to devalue the dollar. You know, this dollar is so valuable all around the world, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I enjoy the fact that for $100, when, let's say we travel outside of the United States, we can actually, let's say, get a hotel and a breakfast. And then 3 years from today, I want to travel outside of the United States, get a hotel, breakfast, and maybe even now have lunch. Like, we want to make it more powerful, not less powerful. Yeah. And, you know, in God we trust. Yeah. What I'm trying to say about the American dollar is that even a lot of people outside of the United States trust that dollar more than their own currency. That's how powerful it is today. So our job is not to devalue this dollar any further, just the opposite. We need to strengthen that dollar. And you know, what is it backed? It's backed by our trust and our faith. We believe in that dollar. So it's our duty to, you know, to preserve it, and you know, to make sure that it's becoming more powerful rather than less powerful. So that's what I always say. And another point of this cost, if we were to do that, and let's say we ask for this shirt $100 right now, right? And let's say people said, okay, no problem, we're gonna pay for it. We're gonna pay $100 now. It's not like we're making more profit by charging double the price. We don't. It's just we simply robbing our own customers double amount of money for no reason, or for little reason. I don't think it's a good value. And what else I want to say? I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. So yeah, and another fact of it is that if we're gonna start, let's say, the reality is, if we're gonna start charging our customers, let's say $100 instead of $50 for that shirt, yeah, guess what's gonna happen with sales? What's going to happen with sales is that sales will probably go down big time. Yeah. We're not going to make any more sales if we're going to double the price. Yeah. That's number one. Now, and what's going to happen with our company? And I'm talking about our company, but the same effect is going to be on all companies, on millions of small businesses. The America is run by small businesses, so we need to actually continue providing the best value we can and maintain small businesses, make sure that they continue running. So if we're going to increase the price of our merchandise by twice as much, right? Then the sales are going to go down. What that means is that we're probably going to need to lay off most people, if not all, and they're going to go unemployed. Okay, and at some point we may also close the doors, and what's good, it's done. Imagine it's the same effect happened across all of the businesses. If millions of businesses gonna have to actually do that because the cost of making the product became so much more expensive, now we increase the price, we devalue the dollar for our customers. They stop spending because they just like, you guys are ridiculous, you cannot just double the price, it's too expensive, we just cannot afford it. And you know, all these businesses slowly start laying off millions of people. So many people are unemployed, businesses are shutting down. Those that are unemployed, they cannot afford to actually provide food for their table. It's going to be disastrous effects on our economy, on our dollar, and on our generally economy of United States. So I actually think that this is the reason number two, that you know, we need to control our costs, and we want to make sure that we being very smart and a little bit flexible here. And lastly, jobs, right? A lot of people want to bring jobs to United States. I get it. I'm a U.S. citizen. You're a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
We are a U.S.-based company. We're all for making sure that we are the most prosperous country in the world, of course. And so, one of the reasons why we are the richest country in the world, and we're hoping that we're gonna continue staying on that path, is because we focus on higher skilled. We focus on the kind of jobs that produce bigger bucks, bigger income, bigger impact. So we don't want to look backwards and try to go backwards. We want to move forward. We want to invest in our skills, in our professional type of environment and skills, in innovations, invest in our what's the word I'm looking for? Intelligence, and being more intellectual, and we want to focus on things that make us $100 per hour, $200 per hour, $1,000 per hour. Obviously it takes time. If you're making $20 per hour, you're probably looking to make $30 per hour. Eventually you improving your skills to make it $40 per hour, $50, $100, and move on up and up and up, right? You don't want to go backward where certain kind of jobs, they're just not really highly paid jobs. Like some things, like some things that people do outside of United States, they're just not, I don't know what's the right thing to say it, but they're just not gonna go increase your pay by a lot, because the demand is, the price is demanded by consumers. We can't pay for certain services, let's say $40, $100 per hour, and charge the same price for the shirt. If we add on a cost, then we must increase the cost of our merchandise. That means our clients are getting not as good of a value for their dollars, and therefore it's going to be a ripple effect. So anyhow, what we're trying to focus is, in America, we're trying to actually, we focus on more intellectual and more the kind of work that's actually professional work, the kind of work that actually produces bigger impact and pays bigger bucks. And let other jobs for the folks that are not at our level do. Sometimes it's actually much more beneficial. And as a matter of fact, let's assume hypothetically I hired someone, let's say in America, right, for, I don't know, $10 per hour. I don't know if it's even legal. In most states the minimum wage is already much higher than that. But let's say it's legal and somebody agreed to pay $10 per hour. I believe I'm doing that person a disservice. I'll explain you why. Because I'm robbing them out of their time. Instead of them improving their skills and focus on $50 jobs, $100 jobs so that they can grow, now I'm taking their time and paying them very, very little. And instead of them focusing on improving themselves so that they can get paid big bucks, now they're just working for this a small dollar per hour jobs, right? Even if it's, let's say, $10, $15, $20, I'm robbing their time so that they don't have time to focus on what they should be focusing on improving themselves and keep getting themselves on a higher paid ladder. So I don't necessarily like that idea anyway. So anyhow, hopefully it's been helpful. I know I got a lot to say, and there's probably more, and I probably missed a lot. But bottom line, all I'm saying is that I hope we keep our open mind, and we understand why certain things are actually quite more beneficial if we outsource outside of the United States. Again, this is just my opinion. I think we're doing everything right at this company. I think we spend whatever money that we need to spend here, we do. Every single penny. And whatever we feel that's going to do more damage to us, to United States, rather than good, are going, to whoever that is willing to do that for us. And honestly, we're grateful that they're willing to do that for us, because they're the ones that, with all these factories and all that. Like I'm talking about back to ecology, for instance. To me, this is the most important thing. Health is wealth. I want to be healthy. I want America to be healthy. I want our company, we want to focus on the right kind of jobs. We want to be healthy. So some things, I mean, I'm grateful that is done somewhere else. So let's finish on that. Hopefully it made sense. Again, and it's okay if somebody disagrees, but it's our opinion. We think we're doing the right thing for America, period.
Yeah.
And majority of our money is spent here, and if we can spend more, we will. And if some things need to be spent outside, again, just like for the reasons I described, then we're gonna have to do whatever we have to do so that we can deliver the best value for your dollars. That's our responsibility. We want to make sure that we don't cut on quality either, right? Because sometimes when we start cutting corners, I mean, you know, if things gonna start getting more expensive, but we're not increasing the price, you're gonna be forced to cut corners. Maybe pay your people less, maybe, you know, decrease the quality of your products, and that's not good for our customers either. So again, I don't want everybody to be one-dimensional. I want you to kind of have your open mind and hopefully understand what I tried to say. And I know this video is already too long, so let's finish on that. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Your comments are welcome. We appreciate your business. We're going to try to do everything we can to make sure that we deliver the best value for your money and deliver the best possible products that we can. Thank you so much for listening. Again, my name is Slava Hreski, and this is my son, Troy Hreski, and hopefully it's been helpful and educational. And we'll talk to you on the next video. Take care.
Bye.